Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is going to be all about the authors who are really popular on BookTube who I have just never read. Now I've got 12 authors to go through with you today. They are all authors who I own at least one book of, but I've just never got round to, but I've heard amazing things about. So the first one is Brandon Sanderson. He is a very popular high fantasy author. I've heard amazing things about his work from high fantasy lovers. This is the first book in his Mistborn series. This is the American mass market paperback. I got this in a subscription box that sent used books. This was the one of 3 books I got in that a long time ago. Unfortunately they don't ship to the UK anymore. So yeah, I actually much prefer the UK covers of the Mistborn series. So if I read this and like it, I may purchase the whole series in the UK editions. But yeah, I also have his book Warbreaker in the UK edition, which is gorgeous. So, I mean, I do have a couple of his books, but I just haven't got round to them yet. But I like me some high fantasy. As you know, I'm currently reading the Song of Ice and Fire series. I am finally on the last book that is out at the moment, so yay for that. So when I fancy picking up some high fantasy again, I may well give Brandon Sanderson a go. The next one is Hera Murphy and her Shatter Me series. This is a really big deal in the US. I've not really heard that much about it from British booktubers, but I believe it's a YA dystopian series. This is the only one I have. This is an floppy American paperback, which I love to death. And these covers are just absolutely gorgeous. I want to collect the whole series in these editions. So yeah, again, I've heard some amazing things about her style, and apparently she's a really beautiful writer. She is married to Ransom Riggs, who wrote the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children trilogy, which I've read and absolutely love. So that's kind of, I guess, another incentive for me to pick it up. So yeah. The next one is Jennifer L Armentrout. Now she is a really popular author, again in the US, and she's not really that big of a deal here. I've not heard many British booktubers talk about her a lot. This is her book Don't Look Back, which came out a couple of years ago. When I saw this on some American booktubers channels when it came out, I saw this cover and just fell in love with it. I think this is a mystery story about a best friend goes missing and her friend doesn't remember anything about the disappearance, so she can't help find her. But I also have her entire Lux series on my Kindle, which is a alien version of Twilight, I think. But I haven't dipped into that yet. So yeah, but I've heard awesome things about her writing. I think she was originally a self-published author, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I will get around to her at some point, definitely. The next one is Colleen Hoover. Now, Colleen Hoover is a new adult author, and that means that she writes books which are slightly for a more mature audience than YA is. So there's, you know, kind of more sex scenes and more kind of romance based, I think. This is her book Slammed. I also have the sequel Point of Retreat, and I think there may be another one in that series. But yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard awesome things about Colleen Hoover. I think her books get quite addictive once you get into them, so I'm interested to see if that's the same with me. Again, I think she's more of a bigger deal with American booktubers than British. So yeah, and I don't really see her books around that much in British bookshops either. So yeah, I don't know. That may be why I've not really, I don't know, maybe it's kind of a subconscious thing. Like I don't see her around in my bookshops and stuff, so I don't kind of feel like an urge to pick her up, if you know what I mean. But I've heard some awesome things about her other books, Ugly Love and November 9 I've heard good things about as well. So yeah, if I read Slam soon, then I may pick up her others. The next one is Richelle Mead, who wrote the Vampire Academy series. Now, I am planning to read this series this year, so that's going to be rectified really soon. But she's also written a bunch of other adult urban fantasy that I've never really dipped into. But I'm really looking forward to getting into those if I like her YA vampire series. So again, this is the only book that I have of the Vampire Academy series. I want to buy these as I go along in case I don't like it, because I'm a little bit wary of vampire fiction since I really hated Twilight. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to read this, and if I like it, I'll pick the books up as I go. I want to marathon this series as well, so when I read it, I will read a whole load of Richelle Mead at once. So hopefully that'll be rectified by the end of this year. That is the plan. The next one is Marissa Meyer, who wrote the Lunar Chronicles. This is a series that is popular with pretty much everyone. I've not really heard many people say bad things about this series. It's a 4-book series and they are retellings of fairy tales. This one, Cinder, is obviously a retelling of Cinderella with a sci-fi twist. They all have a little sci-fi twist, and apparently they are just amazing books. So I'm really looking forward. This is another series that I want to start this year, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm hoping I like it just as much as everybody else. So yeah. The next author that I've never read is Libba Bray. She has written a whole host of YA novels. This one is Beauty Queens, and I think this one is about a group of beauty queens who are in a plane crash and they have to survive on the island that they've crashed onto. I think it's a little bit like Lord of the Flies, but with beauty queens and perhaps less violence, or maybe not, I don't know. But I have a few of her books. I have her Gemma Doyle historical fantasy, I think, trilogy, and I also have another book by her called Going Bovine, and I think I've also got her book The Diviners on my Kindle as well. So I have quite a selection of her books, but again, I've heard amazing things about her writing. She's quite popular on BookTube. I've seen certainly her Diviners and its sequel Lair of Dreams. I've seen a lot on BookTube channels, and I've also seen a lot of this as well. That's how I knew about this, because I'd seen quite a few good reviews of it, so, and it does sound like my kind of thing, so yeah. The next one is Alexandra Bracken, who wrote the Darkest Minds trilogy and the very, very popular, hyped up book Passenger, which is recently came out. Again, I'm hoping to read this trilogy before the end of this year as well. So yeah, this is a YA dystopian, I think, and I've heard amazing things about Alexandra Bracken's writing as well. I do actually follow her on Twitter and I quite enjoy her tweets, so that's a good sign that I might like her style, so yeah. The next one is Maggie Stiefvater. She is a YA fantasy author. She has written the Raven Cycle series, the last one, The Raven King, which is about to come out. This is her Wolves of Mercy Falls series. I think it may be a trilogy, maybe 4 books, maybe. This is a werewolf series, and I have certainly the first 3 books in this. I don't know if there's another one though. So I am hoping to read this before the end of the year as well. I've heard amazing things about Maggie Stiefvater's writing. Apparently she has a really unique, beautiful way of writing, so I'm looking forward to getting into that and hoping that I agree with the vast majority of people. The next one is Marie Lu, who wrote the Legend trilogy, and she's also written a duology, I think, or maybe an upcoming trilogy called The Young Elites and The Rose Society, those books. Again, I've heard really good things about this. This is another YA dystopian series. This is another series that I want to read before the end of the year. They're quite short books, so I think when I finally get around to them, it will be a little quick, really, really quick marathon, hopefully. So yeah, I've heard really good things about her too, though. The next one is Laini Taylor. I know she's an incredibly popular author with so many people, both in the US and the UK and pretty much all over BookTube. I've heard amazing things about her writing style. I have actually read a short story by her in the My True Love Gave to Me selection of Christmas stories. But I've not read this trilogy, but this is another one I want to read before the end of this year. 2016 is going to be like a series year for me. It's going to be like a Slay That series type of thing. I want to get through as many popular BookTube series as possible, so yeah. And the last one is, and I know I should have read this when I was much younger, it's Rick Riordan and the Percy Jackson series. He's also had a few recent releases come out as well, because I think he's got a new series. This is all based around Greek mythology, and I think he has another one around Egyptian mythology and possibly another one on Roman mythology. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but this is aimed at slightly younger than YA. I think it's probably more of a middle grade series, and I've just heard amazing things about it. But the thing is, when I was that age, I was just so Harry Potter obsessed. I wasn't really, my eyes weren't open to anything else of that age range, so therefore I missed out on Percy Jackson when I was the age that it's aimed at. So I'm going to read it as an adult. This is another series that I want to marathon before the end of this year. I have this box set, which is gorgeous, of all 5 of the books in the Percy Jackson series, so I'm hoping to get round to that before the end of the year. And that is all I have for you for this video. Are you amazed that I have not read any of these? I'm sure a lot of people's favourite authors were included in this video, so please let me know who you think I should pick up first. I do actually have a poll going on my Twitter right now, and I also posted a picture on my Instagram yesterday. I want to marathon one of the last 4 series that I showed you. So that is the Wolves of Mercy Falls by Maggie Stiefvater, Legend by Marie Lu, the Percy Jackson series by Riordan, and the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. One of these 4 series I want to marathon in May. So I have, as I said, I have a really unofficial poll going on about which series should be on my May TBR. So yeah, if you guys want to suggest which one I should read for May, then please let me know down in the comments if you guys want to get in on that vote. So as I said, one of these series is going to be on my May TBR. So as I said, that is all I have for you today. I hope you're having an awesome day. I will leave all of my social media down below, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye bye.